The revelation of my wife Clara's pregnancy struck me with a force I could never have anticipated. Stronger even than the gut-wrenching moment I discovered her infidelity. It was a stormy Wednesday evening, rain hammering relentlessly as if the sky itself was warning me of the chaos to come. I cut short a work trip, eager to surprise her with a quiet night in, takeout from her favorite Italian restaurant, a bottle of Merlot she loved, and maybe, finally, a real conversation about the family we'd been half-heartedly trying to start for 3 long years. That silence on the subject had gnawed at me quietly, a dull ache growing louder with every passing month. But the surprise wasn't mine to give. When I stepped through the door, drenched in the rain, clutching bags of food and wearing a tired but hopeful grin, the sight before me shattered everything I thought I knew. Clara stood in the living room, wrapped in nothing but an oversized man's button-down shirt, standing uncomfortably close to a stranger lounging shirtless on our sofa. His smug arrogance churned my stomach. They both froze as I appeared, her eyes wide with panic, his hand reflexively moving toward his jeans. The room was thick with the scent of spilled wine, 2 half-empty glasses on the coffee table, and her hair tangled and undone in a way that told a story I didn't want to hear. My hands trembled, and the takeout bag slipped from my grip, crashing to the floor. I didn't yell or lash out. Instead, I turned cold and mechanical, moving toward our bedroom, my mind a storm of betrayal and disbelief. She followed, voice shaky, spilling excuses like water from a cracked glass. "It's not what you think, David. Please, just let me explain." I didn't look at her. I yanked my duffel from under bed and began stuffing clothes inside, moving like a man possessed. My body felt numb, but my thoughts raced uncontrollably. She was sobbing now, begging, "Talk to me, please." I zipped the bag, threw it to the floor, and finally met her gaze, my voice low and icy. "You've said more than enough." Then she dropped a bombshell that stopped the world cold. "I'm pregnant," she whispered, her words striking me like a thunderclap echoing through the heavy silence. My hands fell limp at my sides, my chest tightening, as though the air had been sucked from a room. I thought I must have misheard. "I found out 10 days ago," she stammered, voice breaking. "I was going to tell you, but I was terrified. I didn't know how to process it." I cut in, voice barely above a whisper. "Are you telling me it's mine?" She stepped closer, eyes desperate and pleading. "David, of course it's yours. Remember that night, a month ago? We were laughing, a little drunk, dancing to that old jazz record in the kitchen. I took the test after you left for your trip. I didn't mean for any of this." I stood frozen, mind a battlefield of raw emotions, her betrayal, the timing, the shattered dreams we'd once shared, all crashing down at once. It felt like my heart was being ripped apart. But one thought pushed through the chaos. I'd always wanted to be a father. "You betrayed me," I said softly, voice trembling. "And now you think this changes everything?" She shook her head, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I'm not asking for forgiveness right now. I'm telling you the truth. And I need you to decide what comes next." Her hand rested lightly on her stomach, a subtle gesture that made the moment heavier, more real than the pain itself. That night, sleep eluded me. I sat alone on the living room couch, staring at the ceiling as her muffled sobs drifted from the bedroom. I replayed our life together. The vows we'd made, the fights, the plans for a future now tainted by her choice. By dawn, I found her in the kitchen, eyes swollen, clutching a mug of untouched tea. "I'm not ready to forgive you," I said, voice steady but raw. "But I'm not leaving either. We'll figure this out. Not for you, not for me, but for them." She nodded, tears falling again, but this time they carried a different weight, a flicker of something fragile, something like hope. 7 months had passed. We began counseling, diving headfirst into the wreckage of our marriage with brutal honesty. We tore down the walls of lies, silences, and assumptions, slowly beginning to rebuild something new. Fragile, imperfect, but real. It hasn't been easy. Some days, the scar of her betrayal burns fresh and raw. But then I remember the ultrasound, the tiny heartbeat flickering on the screen, and something shifts inside me. I'm not the same man I was before. I'm becoming someone new, a father, a partner, willing to try again. Clara's infidelity didn't disappear with her pregnancy. but it forced me to look beyond my anger, to see the man I want to be and the family I still hope to build. Forgiveness isn't a switch you flip. It's a choice you make every single day. And I'm still learning to live with that. In a few weeks, I'll hold my child, the reason I stayed. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find our way forward together.